Hello Touch Designers, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be making this pretty cool audio visualizer. It has a ton of colors, it has some nice textures. You can use it for a bunch of different things. Maybe you can make a music video with it, or maybe just for fun. It's super easy to make. Let's get started. As always, we'll be making the entire network from scratch. You want to start with an audio track here. I routed this to an audio out chop, and then a math chop that will rearrange my levels because they were quite low. We want it to peak around 1. This will make it easier for us to make any adjustments later on if you're using different tracks. You'll also want 2 textures. I have this grid texture, you can barely see it. And I have this vintage dust texture. Both of these are from Envato. I'm not affiliated in any way, shape, or form, and you can pretty much get textures anywhere. These are optional, but they do give it a little bit of life and personality, and I highly recommend it. You want to start by adding a rectangle. Let's go to the Common tab. Let's set the output resolution to the parent panel size. We'll go back to the rectangle tab over here. We'll set the size to 1 and 1. We'll set the justify vertical to top, and then we'll set the center to -0.5. This gives us a very nice division between the upper and lower half of the screen here. Connect the null here at the end and turn on the display flag so we can see what we're doing. Next, it's time to create our audio visualizer. So from this math, I'll drop down a null. Before this null, I'm going to drop down another math. And I'm going to combine the channels using average. Now we have a single mono channel. And now it's time to go to Topland. So let's drop down a chop 2. And I'll just go to the Common tab here and change Fill Viewer to Fill so we can see what's happening here. Now we are missing one crucial component, which is an audio spectrum. So add that, and you'll be able to see that there is this very nice visualization of the audio spectrum here. Next thing we want to do is start displacing this rectangle using our audio spectrum. So we'll right click here, we'll add the Displace top. We'll connect our chop 2 over here as the second input. And right away something really crazy happens. That is because this chop is displacing both X and Y axes of this rectangle. So let's take both down to 0 and start dialing up only the y-axis, or rather dialing down, since we will be moving the rectangle up. So we want to apply negative displacement whenever there are positive values or values that are closer to white in the chop here. So let's drag this until it looks good. I think probably something around here looks good, and we'll adjust the source midpoint here until we get something like this. Now this looks a little jagged to me. I would very much like to smooth this waveform a tiny bit so it looks a bit more natural. Let's drag this audio spectrum to the left. Let's right click and drop down a resample chop. There we go. Let's disable the time slice parameter in the Common tab go back to resample, click on method, change this to new rate, new interval. Let's change unit values to absolute and change both units here to frames. And this allows us to determine the absolute number of frames that we're going to be using here. So to start, maybe let's start with 200 frames. If we middle mouse click on this guy, we'll be able to see that there's 22,000 frames in here or thereabouts. And this guy has 200 frames. This is important because now we're going to be using a filter chop. And the filter chop doesn't like dealing with a ton of samples. So in the filter chop, we'll go to common, we'll disable time slice. In the filter parameters, let's just drag this down a little bit until we see a nice smooth line. Maybe something like this looks good. And this line is already looking a whole lot smoother. We can play around with these parameters a little bit, so maybe let's pull that up a tiny bit, get a tiny bit more resolution. There we go. With the filter chop, you have to be careful because high values will definitely make your CPU stutter. Next up, we want to apply the grid pattern here. Let's right click on the Displace here. Drop down a comp. Connect the grid to the second input. Change the operation to burn linear. There it is. We have a grid. Next, let's add the color. So we'll press tab, drop down a noise top. We want the colors to be oriented along the y-axis. So we only care about colors moving from up to down, and we don't really care about the colors on the sides. So we'll start by going to the common tab. Let's change the width to 1. And again, I'll change the viewer to fill so we can see what we're doing. Let's go back to the noise tab, disable monochrome. And we can probably pull up the period quite a lot here. Finally, we'll go into the transform tab, and under the Y translation, let's type -abs time.seconds divided by 5 maybe. Gets us a nice smooth transition. Finally, after we displace our waveform here, we can right click and add another composite. Add this noise to the second input and it will multiply it. Now you'll notice that something very weird is happening here. The composite wants to use the resolution of our second input. So we'll go into the transform tab, change the fixed layer to input 1. There it is. Let's change the extend overlay to hold. This will give us a nice smooth color. And as you can tell, the colors are moving from up to down. This already looks pretty good to me. Let's put in some final touches. Right click right before null here. Let's drop down an RGB key top. This will make the background black. Right click before it. Let's add another comp. And let's drag our second texture, the vintage dust, into this guy. We want to use screen as the operation here. This looks a little too crazy maybe, so we can drop down a level right after this texture. Pull down the brightness quite a bit. This looks pretty good to me. Still, it looks maybe a little too crisp. So before we apply the texture here, let's right click right after the waveform, drop down a blur. This already looks pretty good. Maybe up the filter size just a tiny bit. And finally Right click after our blur top here, add a bloom. Maybe a bit too crazy again. Can pull it down. And this looks nice. Now when we get higher values in our noise, we'll see this nice glow effect travel from up to down the visualizer. And there we have it. It's done. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. See you next time.